All right, welcome back to the channel and pump your brakes. Terence Crawford versus Kell Brook might not be happening after all, and for one of the most ridiculously heartbreaking reasons that I could think of, which is that there is no network that is willing to put up all the money for the fight, or at very least that the UK networks are not willing to pay for the fight and air it in the UK. Absolutely pitiful job of promotion by Bob Arum in the career of Terence Crawford. But let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So, lot of great conversation. I was excited. I was excited. I was gonna say a lot of great conversation, but nah, it's really not that great. I was excited that Terence Crawford could be fighting Kell Brook. Was like, hey, got to give Terence Crawford 100% credit for fighting Kell Brook. It's the least acceptable. It's the least acceptable of the acceptable fights that are out there for Kell Brook. But he's a big name. Kell Brook is a very good boxer. Be more than happy to see the fight. I might actually have some butterflies in my stomach about the fight. You actually have people when we talk about the fight that were picking Kell Brook to win the fight. So it's like, all right, everything is coming together. We're going to get something good. Yay. But then this morning, bumped my nose on my microphone. But then this morning, I watch IFL TV and there's Bob Arum sitting in his office talking about how the fight between Terence Crawford and Kell Brook is almost done. But the problem is that they can't find somebody in the UK to air the fight. The two major networks in the UK and Ireland, that area, is BT Sports and Sky Sports. Sky Sports puts on more nonsense pay-per-views than any other channel in the history of mankind. But they can't find no money for Kell Brook versus Terence Crawford. You can find money for Alexander Povetkin and Dillian White. But you can't find money for the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world on many people's books and your own home son coming back to try to make a comeback against that and having the opportunity to do it, man. In the middle of they can't pay for the fight. BT won't pay for the fight. Now, in defense of BT and Sky Sports, there's a reason why they may not be willing to pay something for the fight, right? Just something for the fight. Something, just throw something in there. Throw $300,000 in there. Throw half of $500,000 in there. Just to sweeten the pot enough so that Kell Brook can take the fight. But there's a reason why they might not do that is because the fight is shown in the middle of the night, right? In the UK, it's I don't know, is it 7 hours ahead of time or something? So if it's like 9 o'clock, if it comes on at 10 o'clock here, you're talking about, early in the morning over there. So there's going to be that hurdle to that fight. But, and also it's not the only fight that the UK, that those channels, Sky and BT, aren't willing to pay for. Another one that they weren't willing to pay for as a top-ranked fight was the Josh Taylor, whatever his name is, Cat Sprong, whatever his name is that is going on today. They wouldn't pay for that fight either. Now, kudos to them for not paying for that fight. But that's because it's just a trash fight. They also were not willing to pay for Vasyl Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez. They're also not willing to pay to put that fight on in the UK. So it's not as if Terence Crawford is alone in the fact that the UK, the BT and Sky aren't really trying to pay for those fights that come on in the middle of the morning, right? And I do believe that, I don't think that is Terence Crawford is not. It's not a unique situation to Terence Crawford. However, the fact that ESPN won't come in and pay the extra money for the fight, that does say something about Terence Crawford, and it says something about ESPN. It says something about Bob Arum, and it is absolutely, positively ridiculous. Okay? It's ridiculous. Terence Crawford versus Kell Brook. But you won't pay for that. Come out of your pocket to make sure that there's enough money for that. But you'll take the fight between Vasyl Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. Terence Crawford has always gotten better rankings on ESPN than Vasyl Lomachenko. He always has. It is a very bad kept secret that Vasyl Lomachenko has never done the numbers that Terence Crawford has done on ESPN. Vasyl Lomachenko to this day has never been on a pay-per-view and will not be on a pay-per-view unless he fights somebody like Gervonta Davis, who is on a pay-per-view without him, right? So Vasyl Lomachenko is not some big star. Why are they willing to pay for that big fight between Teofimo Lopez and he? But they're not willing to pay for the fight for the American champion to fight Kell Brook. Somebody who is always, in my understanding, always done good numbers. Could it be the same reason why since pretty much Vasyl Lomachenko showed up, that he has been treated significantly better than other people have been, even though other people have had roughly the same level of performance? Now, something that is not necessarily known about Vasyl Lomachenko, like Terence Crawford is not the only person to outperform, that surprisingly perform as well or perform better than Vasyl Lomachenko, but yet still get the gas face. I know that is a dated term, but still yet manage to get the gas face from the television networks. The other one is Guillermo Rigondeaux, because Guillermo Rigondeaux's numbers after he beat Nonito Donaire, and he went and he fought on HBO, his numbers were roughly the same as what Vasyl Lomachenko was doing on HBO. Even on HBO, Vasyl Lomachenko was never a big draw, somebody that people were particularly interested in. But somehow, through all of these years, over 6 years of him not being a very popular fighter, never getting enough traction to where he could even be considered for a pay-per-view fight, doesn't have exciting opponents even available for him in the future other than a Gervonta Davis, but yet and all of those facts being switched for Terence Crawford, they still find a way to support this dude over Terence Crawford, and ESPN was willing to pay for Vasyl Lomachenko, but not willing to pay for Terence Crawford, man. And that's just because they don't believe him. They just don't believe in him. And they don't believe in black. It seems to me, and I know this is just something that listeners to this channel should remember, but look, man, there's no reason that Terence Crawford should not be one of the most popular fighters in all of boxing. There's no reason, man. His performances over he's knocked out everybody he's fought since he's got to 140 pounds, right? Now, why isn't he necessarily as popular in his own demographic? Because he's not fighting the guys that he should be fighting. So now it's like a vicious circle. They didn't support Terence Crawford to begin with when he was coming up, and tried to put all of the eggs in the Vasyl Lomachenko basket, and then Tyson Fury popped up. They put more eggs in Tyson Fury's basket. Then you got Josh Taylor. They're looking to put eggs in his basket. They got Monster Inoue ahead of him, a guy that ain't done nothing in his career on many of these guys' pound for pound lists. Monster Inoue already ahead of Terence Crawford. Man, I wish Terence Crawford, as bad as it is over there, with not all the fights happening at the PBC that we want to see happen in the PBC, but man, I don't believe that this type of thing would happen. how is this guy going to ever get a solid fight, man? If the one fight that he has, you won't pay for. So now what's next for Terence Crawford? Is he going to fight? Is it Green? If they don't get the money, is it going to be Green Machine? Egis Kalvanakis 2? As I said, dude, his career, his name cannot take Egis Kalvanakis 2. Can't take it, dog. Can't take a rematch with Jose Benavidez. You can't dig up Jeff Horn and see if he wants to get another shot at his belt. Can't do it. Terence Crawford is going to have to fight somebody legitimate, or Terence Crawford's career is just going to wither away because the PBC does not look like they're really inclined to build Terence Crawford's career for him, to do all the work of making up the matches, to make the fights between the top welterweights over there, and then at the end of it, after Terence Crawford has beaten every tomato can in Bob Arum's pantry, for him to jump up there and fight for all 4 belts, man, I just don't see that happening, man. It's tough. But anyway, hopefully I'm wrong. You let me know in the comment section what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.